Hey, no, I'm talking about, no, I'm talking about, no, I'm talking about. We back, Ratchet Gang. We back with another one. We back with another banger. Let's get the likes up. Look, you might have forgot. Hell, they might have forgot. But you already know it's the king. Too loyal, know I'm talking about Ratchet TV. Hey, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Get the likes up if you in the building. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you can get the drop whenever I drop. So boom. Man. We gotta talk, Ratchet Gang. We gotta chop it up. Look, right about now, we gotta chop it up about this David situation of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. It's been getting crazy. If you thought it was crazy yesterday, today it gets crazy. Allegedly, and everything I say is alleged. And it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video and in the description of all my videos. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just to educate my people on what we've been covering over here. Like I said, it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video. And everything I say is alleged. Allegedly, y'all. So David went to court yesterday and some crazy things started to come out of the woodworks of what's going on in this case. Now, allegedly, David purchased a chainsaw, shovel. He dismembered her body in the garage. They found her DNA in the garage. They're saying he Ubered her out to the house. He already planned this. He was gonna take her out because she was texting him messages in her phone basically saying, I'm tired of having SCX with you and just hanging out. That's all it ever is. I'm sick of it. She started to send more messages threatening him, saying that she was going to come forward and ruin his music career. And she was about to tell everybody about their actual relationship. Allegedly, not allegedly, because it's in court documents. But I'll say allegedly because we don't know what the truth is. We don't know what a lie is. And I'm not going to say that girl was lying or they're lying on that girl or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but I think, David, you guilty as hell, man. And I think you about to get life and they about to throw the book at you over what you did to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, allegedly. So, with that being said, we about to get into this story. We got some videos to play. We got to talk about the court documents. We got to talk about moving forward, what may or may not happen to David. We don't know what the hell is going on. I just know that this is one of the craziest stories that I think this is the biggest story that you're going to hear this year. As far as in the music and entertainment industry, I think this is the biggest story. Now, with that being said, we about to get into some videos. We're gonna go over the court documents. We're gonna go over what it's gonna look like for David if he gets convicted for this. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a long road, David. I don't think you built for prison. I think they're about to have some fun with you, where you about to go, David, because I don't see a way out of this. I know a few people I've seen like David is innocent, he's being set up. Do y'all really feel like David is being set up? Or do you think that that dude is a serial unaliver, a little twisted little kid with a bunch of weird thoughts in his head? Look, it's plain as day. They got you dead to rights. I don't know how he's pleading not guilty. I guess just because you know it's over anyway, you might as well let him prove it. That's the only thing I could think of because they got you dead to rights. The information that I've seen that's come out of this courtroom, David, they did their homework, and I can see why they didn't charge you sooner. Is because they wanted to dot every I and cross every T, and they wanted to make sure they put an autograph on this book. They wanted to make sure they stamp, signed, and delivered. It's yours, David. Oh, it's yours. So we got some information that we got to chop it up about. And we about to get to these videos right now. I don't want to hold y'all up. Let's get to this David story. Are y'all ready? Oh yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Are coming up with the exact timeline of the gruesome way they believe David unalived Celeste, with court documents saying he bludgeoned her with a sharp object and the following days bought 2 chainsaws and a bunch of other insane tools to hide evidence. Let's discuss everything we know about that, and now that we know the type of person that David is, I want to discuss all the celebrities that had the misfortune of being around him just months before he committed these heinous acts, which is terrifying for them because they didn't know who they were hanging out with. David has officially been charged with first-degree murder and he is being held in prison. Yes, the death penalty is on the table. And prosecutors believe they pieced together the exact timeline of what he did, stating that on April 23rd, 2025, the 21-year-old David ordered a car for Celeste to go from her house to his Hollywood Hills home at night, and when she arrived, bludgeoned her with a sharp object, enough to just be able to stand there and watch the life drain from her eyes, and they say that's exactly what he did. Prosecutors then say in court documents that over the next few days he was buying things like a shovel from Home Depot that he ordered to his house from Postmates under a fake name, Victoria Mendez. They also said he then ordered 2 chainsaws from Amazon to his house. You can guess what he did with those, as well as a giant inflatable pool to lay her in and not make any mess while getting rid of evidence. Police pretty much knew it was him since the day they found her body in the trunk of that Tesla, if you remember, on September 8th, 2025, because prosecutors say that they did a search of his house in September 2025 and found DNA evidence from blood that matched Celeste. So technically it took them 5 months to find her in that trunk. And what's so terrifying and creepy is that he went on tour in April after he committed those acts and probably just didn't want to think about her. So he was cited as the last person to drive that car by prosecution, probably just put her there and didn't want to think about it. They also allege that he took horrifying measures to make her body so unrecognizable and get rid of evidence, even removing one of her fingers because it had his name tattooed on it. Her family said that they're absolutely devastated learning about all of these details now that they've...
Now, I don't think her family is devastated. I think that her family was involved. And from what I was told, David was paying her friends, he was paying her family members, he was paying people to be quiet, and he was paying for access to her. I heard that he went to the kids in her neighborhood and paid them $1,000 to give her a phone because her parents cut off access to him. But then eventually he ended up paying them some money and they gave him access to her again, allegedly.
Come out. And what's terrifying for celebrities like Cat's Eye is that they were on his live stream just a couple months before he committed these acts. This was February 2025, and they weren't just on that live stream. They clearly hung out with him again, was making content with him, seemed to genuinely enjoy him as a person, not knowing the terrifying human being and the awful atrocities he's capable of that they are right next to. I mean, Benny Blanco was also on his live stream, just chumming it up, probably thinking he's a respectable artist. Maybe he wants to work with him. He had a lot of hit songs. Even Billie Eilish. There's honestly endless people in the industry that he was some level of close with or has met, and they just didn't know what was lurking around them.
Or they just as guilty as he is, right? You know, this it's the industry. We don't know what the fuck none of these weird people be doing, allegedly. So David, brother, you about to get the death penalty.
Celeste was bleeding out. David stood there and watched. He then ordered 2 chainsaws, a body bag, a shovel, and a burn cage. We now know the exact details of how David took Celeste's life, exactly how he dismembered her, and exactly why she threatened him that night. This is crazy. According to brand new court documents, on April 23rd, David ordered Celeste an Uber to bring her from her family's home to his Hollywood Hills home, where he later stabbed her to death. The next day, he ordered a shovel from Home Depot through Postmates, and about a week later, he ordered 2 chainsaws from Amazon, and 4 days after that, he bought a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool. And all of these purchases were made under the fake name Victoria Mendez. He then placed her body into the inflatable pool in order to not make a mess, and then used the chainsaws and other tools to dismember her. He then removed her ring and pinky fingers, including the finger that had the name David tattooed on it. They also revealed why Celeste threatened David that night and said that this all happened after the two had a fight over text about her being jealous that he was hooking up with other women, and then she threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with him to end his career and destroy his life. And David had this all planned out because even after Celeste arrived at his home, he sent text to her phone asking where she was. David then made 2 more trips to a remote part of Santa Barbara County, and they later found Celeste's passport in that exact same area. David has still pled not guilty, and his next court date was scheduled for May 1st, but after hearing this evidence, his defense team postponed it and is now scheduled for May 26th. Rest in peace to Celeste. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as any new details come out, I'll keep you guys updated.
I ain't gonna lie, the defense team, they probably gonna all quit. They probably just gonna walk off this. I wouldn't defend this. This is a losing battle. I would just look at this and be like, bro, we can't win this. They got you, brother. Hey, David, they got you, brother. I don't see a way out of it either, David. This is looking bad. I just don't see a way out of it. Not for you, David. I don't see it. So let's get to the next video. What do y'all think? This dude is, if all this is true, and I believe it is, this is one sick, twisted
11
kid.
child sex abuse, chainsaws, and murder. The grisly new allegations and gruesome details in the killing of a 14-year-old girl and the pop star in jail for her murder. Prosecutors revealing those chilling allegations in a new court filing today. Eyewitness News reporter Liz Nagy following the story tonight. Liz.
Mark, the details alleged by prosecutors are frankly disgusting. In this preliminary 8-page brief signed by LA District Attorney Nathan Hochman, prosecutors paint a picture of a rising pop star who they say lured a young girl and then eliminated her when she threatened to expose their relationship and derail his fame.
Featured covered in blood and dragging a body in one of his many music videos, prosecutors described the pop singer David carrying out a real-life scene grossly similar to this production. In court for the second time today, attorneys for the singer, whose real name is David Burke, fought to seal the brief that prosecutors believe lays out a specific timeline and evidence of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez's murder.
And I'm gonna be real. The fact that his lyrics and videos were depicting him doing some of these same things, I know they're gonna use his lyrics. I know they're gonna use the music. I know they're gonna use a lot of stuff against him. But that music is gonna be very telling, and I guarantee you they're gonna pull out a lot of videos and a lot of lyrics because he was basically telling you. And I don't think that this was his first body. Now just think about this. I've never unalived nobody. I wouldn't know the mindset of someone who did. So I could only just think like, what would I do in that situation? I would panic. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I wouldn't be able to order no chainsaws and pools and body bags. I would be petrified. I wouldn't know what to do. I would be scared as hell. Look, I don't know. I don't think I could do what he did. That don't sound like your first body. That sounds like that's about your 10th. You knew exactly what to do. You've been watching a lot of murder mysteries. I don't know, man. You a weird kid, dog. I don't know. But that ain't normal. That just ain't normal to unalive nobody. But I'm just saying the way you acted before, during, and after, bro, you are just a sick, twisted, weird kid. And you deserve everything that's coming to you.
Prosecutors allege Rivas Hernandez and Burke first met when she was just 11 years old, and they have explicit sexual photos of the two. The brief also claims Burke stabbed Celeste several times and watched her bleed to death. In the days after prosecutors claimed David had slaughtered Rivas Hernandez, they say he purchased tools to dismember her body. Prosecutors say Amazon delivered 2 chainsaws, a body bag, and blue inflatable swimming pool to David's home, all ordered under a fake name. Prosecutors say David cut off 2 of her fingers because one of them had a tattoo of his name on it. Prosecutors also allege they have text messages that discuss sex between the two, her pregnancy, and an abortion, and text messages where Celeste threatens to expose Burke and destroy his career. In July, months after prosecutors say he'd stabbed her to death, Burke placed her body in the inflatable pool he'd ordered to prevent her blood from spilling onto his garage floor and used a chainsaw to cut off her limbs. Former prosecutor turned criminal defense attorney R.J. Dreiling says David's defense team will seize on one detail.
They note in their brief that David was sending text messages to Celeste after her death. They're going to use that to prove that, look, there's no way he knew that she was dead or responsible for it. He's still trying to communicate with her after her death.
As he toured on stage, Celeste's body, prosecutors say, rotted in pieces in the front of David's Tesla until investigators discovered the remains in September, 5 months after they say David Burke had murdered her.
The medical examiner's report released just last week had noted those pieces of blue plastic in Rivas Hernandez's remains. Prosecutors now say those pieces of blue plastic were pieces of the inflatable pool that they say David had placed her body in. Burke has pleaded not guilty. He will stay locked up in jail until his next court date in May. We're live downtown tonight. Liz Nagy, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Liz, thank you.
I'm talking about, bro, this is some unimaginable shit. You don't think you're gonna hear about nothing like this when it comes to these kid stars. He wasn't a kid, but I mean he's young, bro. The dude is still a baby. You know what I'm saying? He's still wet behind the ears. He's
Go over
fucked up.
all 9 pages of evidence released
He just messed up in the head. That's just what it is. He is completely messed up in the head. But let's continue. Let's go over these court documents now.
against David today in the murder case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I do have to warn you, there is some graphic and disturbing information in here, so if you do not want to hear it, scroll now. The dismembered body of 14-year-old Celeste was discovered in the front trunk of defendant's Tesla Model X on September 8, 2025. The vehicle had been towed 3 days prior from 1405 Bluebird Avenue, which was parked approximately 400 feet from the defendant's home at 1368 Doney Place in the Hollywood Hills. Surveillance video and other evidence confirms the defendant was the last person to drive the vehicle on July 29, 2025, before he left Los Angeles on a concert tour. On September 8, 2025, the manager of the tow yard where the Tesla had been impounded noted the strong smell of decay and the presence of flies coming from the vehicle. He notified Los Angeles Police Department Hollywood auto detectives, who determined the Tesla was registered to defendant through departmental resources. At the tow yard, LAPD detectives opened the Tesla's front storage compartment and observed a black cadaver bag covered in insects. Inside the bag, they discovered a decomposed head and torso. A plastic garbage bag beneath the black cadaver bag contained the dismembered arms and legs. However, the victim's ring and pinky fingers on her left hand had been amputated and were not found in the vehicle. On September 16th, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Department positively identified the body from dental records as belonging to the victim. Pursuant to their investigation, LAPD robbery homicide detectives determined the victim and defendant met in January 2022 when she was 11 years old. They began a sexual relationship in November 2023 when the victim was just 13 years old and the defendant was 18 years old. And I want to put in my own personal disclaimer in there that there's no consent in this. She was a child, he was an adult, this was abuse. Detectives learned that the victim had been reported missing to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department by her family, who live in Lake Elsinore, in February and April 2024. RCSD contacted the defendant by...
Does anybody else feel like her family should be also charged? I think somebody in her family, I know for a fact they knew about it, and I think they were paid off, and I'm pretty positive they were paid off. I'll just say allegedly. But I think her family deserves to be in jail too. Kind of like the R. Kelly situation all over again. Not the same sense, but yeah,
telephone
because they knew.
on February 17th, 2024, after they identified a phone number in the victim's phone records that belonged to him. During the call, defendant claimed that he had spoken to the victim last on February 13th or 14th, 2024, but stated he was unaware that she was a minor or that she had been reported missing. RCSD advised him that Los Angeles Sheriff's Department deputies would be coming to his home, and they requested that LASD conduct a welfare check at the defendant's home. They went to the defendant's home that night at 8:15 p.m. and informed him that the victim was a 13-year-old runaway. The defendant again claimed that he was unaware she was a minor and he had only met her in person one time in November 2023. However, the defendant showed deputies a yearbook photo of the victim he had on his cell phone. Although he claimed to be unaware of where the victim was at the time, she returned home 2 days later. Despite being informed by law enforcement that the victim was only 13, the defendant continued to pursue her. After the victims returned home in February 2024, her parents took her cell phone away. The defendant drove to Lake Elsinore and paid a junior high student in the victim's class $1,000 to give the victim a cell phone the defendant purchased so that they could stay in contact. Throughout 2024, the victim spent a significant amount of time with the defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family. Text exchanges between the victim and defendant contain references to sex, pregnancy, abortion, and the use of Plan B emergency contraceptive. There are also explicit photographs documenting and corroborating their sexual relationship. Again, I don't like that term.
So he was taking pictures of her, or she was sending pictures, they were making videos together. You were having unprotected using Plan B. David, what the what? Fam, just lock him up, bro. Just lock him up and keep him there for the rest of his life.
November 2024, the defendant and victim broke up. Although they continued to communicate, the text messages suggest that they continued to have sexual relations. April 23rd, 2025 is the likely date of the victim's death and when all of her cellular activity ceased. The night prior, April 22nd, 2025, defendant and the victim engaged in a lengthy argument described in detail in their text messages. The messages revealed the victim's jealousy over a defendant's relationship with other women. Again, we've seen that other people have come forward claiming that they had a relationship. women, it could have been minors as well. As the defendant led her to believe they had a future together, she became extremely upset and threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with the defendant to end his career and destroy his life. Defendant's first studio album was due to be released on April 25th, 2025. He had an emerging multi-million-dollar career already in progress. He also had multiple product endorsements, which were highly profitable. At approximately 8:40 p.m. on April 23, 2025, defendant sent an Uber to transport the victim from her Lake Elsinore home to his residence. They communicated before and during her Uber ride, which dropped her off at the defendant's Hollywood Hills home around 10:10 p.m. At approximately 10:30 p.m., defendant sent text messages to the victim inquiring where she was. The people contend this was part of the defendant's premeditated plan to cover up the murder, as she was already dead by this time. Knowing he had to silence the victim before she ruined his music career as she had threatened, very soon after her arrival to his home, defendant stabbed the victim to death multiple times and stood by while she bled out. At no time did he call law enforcement or 911 to take her to an emergency room to attempt to save her life. Despite knowing that she was dead and her family was trying to find her, the evidence will show defendant lied and claimed he didn't know where she was. In fact, the defendant drove to Santa Barbara County immediately after the victim died, attempting to dispose of her property and destroy evidence. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on April 23, 2025, he drove away from his home as he texted and called the victim's phone asking where she was. Again, these were acts calculated and planned to set up his defense within a very short timeline after the victim's vicious murder. The defendant drove his Tesla north on the 101 freeway to San Marcos Pass Road near Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County. He returned home early the following morning on April 24, 2025, before going to a radio interview for the release of his album that week. He sent 2 additional texts to the victim's phone that day, which obviously went unanswered because she was already dead. After April 26, 2025, the defendant never attempted to contact her again. Tellingly, the defendant subsequently purchased tools to carry out his plot to dismember and dispose of the victim's body. On April 24, 2025, the defendant ordered a shovel from Home Depot that was delivered to his home from Postmates. On May 1, 2025, the defendant ordered and subsequently Amazon delivered 2 chainsaws to his home. On May 5th, 2025, defendant ordered and Amazon subsequently delivered a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool to his home. He made these purchases under the fake name Victoria Mendez. On May 8th, 2025, the defendant returned to the same area in Santa Barbara County, leaving his home around 11:30 p.m. He returned to the area again on May 31st, 2025. This is an isolated site off of SR 154 where the victim's identification was subsequently discovered in January 2026. It was her passport. Additionally, on July 7th, 2025, defendant ordered and subsequently Amazon delivered a burn cage to his home under the same fake name as part of his plan to incinerate evidence. Moreover, defendant took horrifying measures to destroy and discard the victim's body. After placing her body into the blue inflatable pool to prevent her blood from spilling into the garage floor, the defendant used a chainsaw and perhaps other tools to cut off her limbs. Small blue plastic fragments were found embedded in the victim's remains, which were collected by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Department. The fragments were analyzed, and an expert was able to make a physical fit match from the blue fragments to the blue inflatable pool purchased by the defendant in May 2025. In order to distance himself from the victim, he amputated her left ring and pinky finger because her ring finger contained a tattoo of his name. Her fingers have not been recovered. Defendant then placed her head and torso into the cadaver bag he purchased. He placed her limbs in a garbage bag, which he deposited into the front trunk, laying the cadaver bag on top. For several weeks or possibly months, the defendant left the victim's body to decompose inside of his Tesla. He lied to friends and business associates and others who noticed the strong smell of decay in and around his home and vehicle. Before leaving on the concert tour at the end of July, he parked his Tesla on the street around the corner from his home. LAPD served a search warrant at the defendant's home on September 17, 2025, after the victim was identified by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner on September 16. Inside the garage, detectives discovered evidence consistent with the dismemberment of the victim's body in the inflatable pool, which contained multiple linear cuts. Several biological samples, which tested positive for blood, were collected within the garage. DNA analysis determined that various samples matched the victim's unique genetic profile. On December 9th, 2025, the medical examiner ruled the victim's death a homicide caused by 2 penetrating injuries to the torso. On January 17th, the victim's U.S. passport card was found by a Caltrans worker off of SR 154 in Santa Barbara County. And I'm out of time, so go to part 2. There are 2 pages left.
Bruh. That page right there, that's enough, like to cook them. I don't know what the hell David was thinking or what possibly it was going through his psychotic mind. I don't know what the fuck that little kid was thinking, man. This is sick. Let's continue.
Go over all 9 pages of evidence released against David
Oh, no,
today in the
I just played that. My bad. I just played that. Man. All right, let's go. Let's get to the next one. My bad. All right, let's get to this next one.
David accused of killing 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I'm David Ono.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. Newly released court documents reveal troubling details about what prosecutors say unfolded around the murder. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live in downtown LA with the graphic details. Rob.
Yeah, no cameras in the courtroom today. The prosecution filing a legal brief today, and what it contains is beyond disturbing. Take a look at this. In that brief, prosecutors say Celeste Rivas Hernandez and Burke first met when she was just 11 years old, and they have explicit photos of the two. The brief also spelling out that Burke stabbed Celeste several times and watched her bleed to death. Then he purchased tools to dismember her body. Amazon delivering 2 chainsaws, a body bag, and a blue inflatable swimming pool to his home, all ordered under a fake name. Also in the brief, prosecutors say Burke cut off 2 of her fingers because one of them had a tattoo of his name on it. Also in the evidence are text messages that discuss sex between the two, her pregnancy, and an abortion. Celeste texting Burke, quote, "All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself." Burke is accused of killing Celeste, who disappeared last April. Her remains were found in September in plastic bags in the front truck of a Tesla registered to Burke. Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani believes Burke's defense will most likely argue that Celeste accidentally died from an overdose and Burke panicked, cutting up and hiding her body.
So that's the defense y'all gonna go with. I mean, he's still going down for the actual relationship. He's still going to go down for all of the charges with the CP. So, I mean, look, even if your defense is, oh, well, he didn't unalive her. I mean, she had a drug overdose and he got so scared that he chopped her body up and dismembered her and what? Fam, good, nice try. That's a good one. Good. Hey, round of applause for attempting that. No, thank you. That ain't gonna fly in court, brother. I guarantee you, he getting the death penalty. David is gonna get unalived in that jail system. He's done. David, you're out of here.
If you're looking at the 3 sets of charges, the mutilation of a corpse is the least serious. So if they can somehow fall on that and avoid either the sex crimes or the murder itself, that would be a huge win for the defense.
Now, also in the brief, prosecutors allege that surveillance video shows that Burke was the last person to drive the Tesla where Celeste's body was found. He is due back in court on May 12th for a procedural hearing, then again on May 26th for his preliminary hearing. Reporting live in downtown LA, Rob Hayes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
That maybe they hid. Somebody's down low, and there's something about a highway. Maybe they could find surveillance from a highway. And there's something about money, somebody getting some money. This has to do with money as well, too. Money was involved in this situation. There's something about a short person. Look, after I just said something about money, guess what? The mom. The mom probably did. I saw some rumors that people were saying that that he was giving the mom money, and I believe it. Somebody saying you lied to me. Maybe the mom could be saying you lied to me. You gave me this money and you lied to me. There's somebody that's LGBT that's involved. That could be free right now. Okay, I know I said one more, but let's do one more, and then we're gonna move on. This involves a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There could be someone also that's chubby that could be involved. I seen that the last time during my reading. I heard fat ass. There's something about a holiday too, and she needed medical care. Look, passed out. She passed out. There possibly could be an Asian involved, maybe. Something about someone that's Asian in love. She felt like she was in love. Right here, keep going, keep going. There was some altered documents and altered contracts. There's something about contracts that's involved in altered documents. And look, there's something about a secret child. There's a secret child. Someone had a secret child. Fame. Somebody famous. And there was a meeting, maybe a meeting about these contracts and these documents. Magic. There's some fake friends around too.
But I do believe somehow, some way, the industry is connected to this. I don't think he's being framed. I just think he may have pissed somebody off.
Like, nope. Okay, I'm gonna conclude this part of the reading. I feel like I got some good information. Thank you. Sale. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I feel like I got some good. There's somebody cousin involved. There's something about a brother as well too. brother. Okay, I think it's safe to say allegedly that Celeste and Mr. David had some type of dealings with each other. So I want to pull these cards and see what Spirit can tell me about their situation, what we need to know. Tell me what's important to know about the situation between Celeste and David. Celeste and David. This is a lot. Look, family, look, y'all see me shuffling. Somebody said, I love you. Family, I love you. Someone was pregnant. Look at this. Love child. I don't care what these police say. I don't care what they say. This girl was pregnant. She was pregnant. Look at that family. And somebody saying, I love you. And somebody said, look at the bottom of the deck. Look at the bottom. Bro, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Someone said, left you hanging, no closure, left on red. Someone wanted to get rid of a situation. And guess what? This girl was pregnant. I don't care what them people say. They lying. They lying to the public. They're lying to the public. They're lying to the public. They are lying to the public. She was pregnant. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what they say. She was pregnant. She got pregnant by him. 100%. I don't care. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, but I can tell you from my thoughts and my, from what I'm feeling, she was pregnant and she got pregnant. And they're lying in their altered documents. They don't want the public to know that she was pregnant for some reason. Because they know that if they say that she's pregnant, that he's gonna know that he's cooked and he's gonna try to flee. But I don't know what the police are waiting for. I feel like they're secretly investigating other people around him. So I feel like there's other people that's involved that they are trying to get as well too. Because I feel like they definitely have enough to get him, but it's not just him. They're probably trying to get a group of people. Thank you. So let's come through, Spirit. Tell me what else. What else do we need to know? She's saying I was. What else? What else do I need to know? Somebody felt like they had a lot of decisions to make, like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Look, this person did, like, they got this bad news. That was bad news. When she told him that she was pregnant, that was bad news. And you know why? Because they were having reckless sex. Unprotected. And they think, man, I gotta figure out what I gotta do when you get this abort board. Maybe she didn't want to get the abort board. And maybe that's why. Come on, Spirit, what else? Memories. He's probably inside her brain. And also see GPS as well, too. GPS. There's something about GPS. Look, they're gonna track that car and see where the movements of that car is, too. We got somebody that's a clown. Somebody act like they busy. Somebody acting like they busy. Oh, I'm busy. I got all this stuff I gotta do. Somebody's pretending like they busy, but they ain't got nothing going on. What else we need to know about you and David? Anything else? Yes, sorry, this fell, y'all. Hold on. They were definitely in a relationship because this romance card just came out. For sure, they was definitely in a relationship. Somebody's feeling bad. They could have been drinking, doing drugs. What else? I'm gonna also pull my other deck too. There's something about marriage. There's something about somebody being married. Also, somebody feels ashamed about what they did. There's something about marriage. I saw she had a ring. He probably could have told her, oh, I'm going to marry you. We're going to have a family together. This woman. What about this woman? Yep, she's embarrassed. She feels embarrassed that this happened. She feels very embarrassed that this happened. She hates that this happened. Yep, she's not happy that this happened. Somebody did spell work on somebody. Somebody did love work. And look, running away. Somebody ran away because she was bumping heads with someone. Who was she bumping heads with? Somebody was showing their true colors. And after somebody showed their true colors, somebody could have backstabbed her. Someone could have backstabbed her and she was like, you know what? I'm done. Look, fed up. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. She said, I'm getting out of here. She ran away. Why did you run away? Why did you leave home? Was your family good to you? Were you just being like a silly teenager? Being like a silly teenager, doing teenage things and just running away because, you just wanted it your way? Or did someone actually hurt you? Did someone actually, was it truly a bad home? Now that knowing what you know now, what can you say about your family and, the home life in your family? Were they good people? Why did you leave? There's something about no strings attached. There's something about a woman, family, love child, okay? Did they know you were pregnant? Did your family know that you were pregnant? Why did you leave your family? Is it because you were pregnant? I heard no. Why did you leave? Why did you run away from your family? Karma, breakdown, feeling mentally. She wanted to go because she wanted to be with him. She thought he was her twin flame. And also there were secrets maybe her family didn't know. Secrets about her dealings with Mr. D. David. That's why she wanted to be with him. There's also someone that could be getting readings on her. Like something about being single. Maybe she wanted to be single. There's something about the police station too. Somebody also had a side hustle too. Somebody blocked somebody as well too. Someone blocked somebody.
So as we see right there, there's been a lot of speculation over what the hell was really going on with David and Celeste. The court has, the police have done their job. The courts are now getting the information that David was having an inappropriate relationship with her since 11 years old. Since 13, it's gotten actual. And he was luring that girl all across California to do whatever to her. He knew she was a runaway. He knew she was a minor. He knew all of the things that he was supposed to run away from. You're not supposed to interact with minors. You're supposed to get the fuck on. The hell no. David said, come on, closer. David got her from the grasp of her family and put her in his care. And he even lured her the day she died and promised her whatever he promised her. And she got there and look, he was like, I got to keep this music career. I got to keep my lifestyle going. I no longer want anything to do with you. You got to go. And he ultimately decided that before he gets exposed for having an inappropriate relationship with her, he's going to unalive her, which David, to be honest, you might have just wanted to go down for the inappropriate relationship and not the unaliving, because the unaliving is what's going to get you life. Your defense team is trying to say there was no actual relationship, but they got the pictures and they got the videos. I don't know how you're going to get out of this one, David. I think this is an industry ritual and this is your humiliation ritual, but I don't think you're going to make it out of this one. This is bigger than what Diddy did. This involves an unalive body and it involves a child. So, David, I don't know, man. You might want to find Jesus, man. Go call God. I don't know what else to tell you, but there ain't no way out of this, my brother. There ain't no way out of this, man. I pray that you get the help you need. And RIP to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And hopefully the younger generation can look at this case and see exactly what the hell it is. And hopefully the younger females can look at this case and stay the hell away from older males, because it never ends well. Just stay a kid, stay in a kid's place, be a kid. Don't go out here trying to be grown. Don't be looking at Ice Spice and Lotto and all these girls, and that's the lifestyle y'all want to live. And then you sexy red and all this. No, 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 no. Stay in a kid's place. Stay a child as long as possible. Trust me, you don't want to be grown. I hate paying bills. I don't want to get up and have to pay bills every day. I'm doing this right. I got to pay these bills. We on this video. I got to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? Bills, bills, bills. They don't stop either. Every week it's a new bill. You don't want to be grown yet. Trust me. These grown problems, they for the birds. That's why we end up turning gray, because we be stressed the hell out trying to pay all these damn bills, and we always got some money to spend. And trust me, you don't want this. You don't want these problems. Stay a kid. I wish I could go back to being a kid and just sitting in my mama room playing Sega Genesis. I wish I could go back to playing Madden in my damn room, playing NFL Blitz, going outside and, you know what I'm saying, drinking water out the hose and riding my bike around the neighborhood. Man, I miss those days. Shit, if I ride a bike today, my damn kneecaps probably gonna be cracking. You know? Nah, in all seriousness though, just stay a kid, man. Let this be a lesson to the youth. It's not always fun trying to be grown and go out here doing grown things. With that being said, y'all get into the comment section, drop down and let me know. Make sure y'all hype this video too up as well. Salute to all my mods, salute to the green team, salute to everybody who's tapped in with the king, man. Salute to everybody who's tapped in with Ratchet Gang. I love y'all. And I want to know what y'all think about this story. I want y'all to do me a favor before we get up out of here. I want everybody to like the video. I want everybody to subscribe to the channel. I want everybody to hype the video up when it ends, comment on the video, do all that, man. I appreciate that. And if you want to donate to the channel, send a super chat, super sticker, or if you just want to send a cash app, $ Ratchet TV. If you don't want to send no money, then hey, just like the video and hype it up. That's free. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep that a big buck. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, hype the video up. Make sure y'all hype the video up. Or you might want to hype the one up later. I got another video about the Mo3 case coming up later on. So yeah, you know, I gotta crank my videos out. It's been a couple days since I've been doing my videos, but we back. And yeah, I don't know, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. David, I don't see no way out of it for him. Do y'all think David can get out of this? Do you think David did it? Do you think he's being set up, or do you think he's just a sick, twisted person? Drop down in the comment section. As always, this your boy Big Ratchet. That's Ratchet Gang, and this is Ratchet TV. And until the next episode, I'll see y'all. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know. Hey, stay prayed up. Protect your kids. Protect the kids. This your boy Big Ratchet, man. I'm finna get the hell up off here. I'll catch y'all on the next episode. And until then, I'm out.